hometown of Chicago to reduce gun violence, to contribute to the public schools there, recognizing the intimate connection between education and opportunity and violence in our communities and wanting to disrupt that. When I see him talking so vulnerably about the importance of fatherhood and how fatherhood has changed him on a platform like the BET Awards, when I think about films like Moonlight being written, produced, directed, starring all Black men, and the story that Moonlight tells, and winning the Oscar for Best Film for this year. When I even think about all the conversations that have come up around Jaden Smith and how he's presenting his masculinity through his fashion choices, all of the social media wars and conversations that were happening around men and rompers, all of that makes me feel really optimistic about where we're moving, because these are conversations, these are images that we haven't seen before, and they're forcing us to really think critically about how much we allow stereotypes to invade our own psyche, and how we allow other folks to determine what is valuable, what is acceptable, what is appropriate for us. And it's kind of like smashing these boundaries down a little bit by little bit. And that is exciting. I'm really interested to see kind of what comes on the other side of this, because I do think we're moving through an important time and an important space, especially in the Black community. But I think, Black folks tend to be trendsetters. We tend to set the pace. We tend to be change agents. And so I'm thinking there's going to be also this kind of trickle down effect for the mainstream and how we react and respond to pushing these boundaries ourselves.
I completely agree with that. And I just want to also say, just for the record, you can talk about Jaden Smith all you want to. Jaden's skirts is on point. Like, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because let's be real. Because here's what's beautiful about that whole concept. It, as you said, smashes the concept of masculinity. I looked and I said, it's okay for us to acknowledge a Scottish brother standing there with his kilt, with his bagpipes, doing his traditional garb, whatever. It's okay for us to accept that as masculine. But for some reason in the Black community, we have these very strict concept of what masculine is, which I honestly believe is almost a reaction to the oppression that we receive. So we were boys, so we must be men now that we have our freedom, and we must prove that we are this. But we spend so much of our time and energy invoking white people into our ideological conversations that we never really truly find who we are. So, like something as simple as Kwanzaa. I've had people, friends of mine, Black friends of mine, say they don't celebrate Kwanzaa, it's a ridiculous holiday, and blah, 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 blah. And, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong, but do you understand why it exists? It exists because Christianity was never our religion. It exists because we are trying to create traditions. In the same way, Jewish people have gone through oppression, but they have held on to their culture. It's kind of hard to hold on to your culture when you're coming from different parts of a continent. You don't speak the same language, and so you cannot carry forth certain systems. That's why I celebrate something like Capoeira, because it is one of the few things that came straight from Africa, was morphed into a, quote, dance, but was instrumental in helping people overcome slavery in Brazil. So it's these kinds of things that when people are having these very strict conversations and defining themselves, they aren't looking at the history of things and why things are being done. They're only looking at the feeling, the anger, and it always goes back to pointing the finger at the white man. Here's the thing I need every single Black person listening to us today to understand. The damage is done. The white man has done the damage. Like, slavery is over. The systems are still in place. You have two options: allow them to perpetuate or work to change them.
So one of the things that I hope everybody takes away from this show is this hashtag Black Boy Joy is about defining something for ourselves rather than defining what we are not based upon someone else's definition. And there is a huge difference between those two things. And being able to have your own self-definition, being able to have your own sense of celebration around that, your own self-determination, to use a Kwanzaa principle, right? Kuji Chakalia, to have your own self-determination is a wholly more powerful thing than working to try to redefine something based upon someone else's definition and expression of you. Okay?
And that's so very important. So very, very important. I just want to bring in something. DJ Baker was listening in again today, and he's active in the chat room. He stated a little bit earlier, Ja Rule is the last person to talk about that. This is the same brother who doesn't want his children watching MTV because too many gay people are on there.
What?
Mm-hmm. And what I know, wait a minute, I had to pull it a second. I brought a deeper pause. I brought a deeper pause into my soul. Can I steal your phrase for a second, my good sister?
Yeah.
What I know to be true as a member of the entertainment industry is if that's how you really feel, you should not be in entertainment, period. Like, period. Because
that's fascinating to me. I hadn't known that he had that particular perspective on things, considering how much he used MTV as a particular platform for his career in the 90s.
Murder.
Stop.
Every 15 minutes on MTV. I'm like, are you serious? You stayed in rotation. Stop that. Stop what you're saying right now. Stop it.
What I do like about what DJ Baker says, and shout out again to DJ Baker and the Do Dirty Show, is this. So here's the thing: we have set up such a complicated relationship between gender and sexuality in our society that I think part of what threatens people, particularly in our Black community, around starting to dismantle these limited ideas of Black masculinity, is that it bumps up against our ideals and expectations for heterosexuality.
Right.
So we take them to mean almost the same thing, and we're socialized to think about them as almost the same thing, right? That manhood is equal to masculinity, is equal to heterosexuality. We kind of put them all as being equal. And realistically, practically, that's not true. Those things are separate concepts. And I think the whole fervor around Black Boy Joy is part of that conversation. It's not specifically that conversation, so it's not necessarily a conversation about queerness or sexuality, but it bumps up against it in a really nuanced and interesting way. And I think challenges people in a way, but it's not as threatening, right? To talk about Black Boy Joy as it is to maybe talk about straight Black masculinity and to talk about its relationship to sexuality. But I think in people's minds, they become kind of intertwined,
right?
Which may be in parts, if people have a negative reaction, or especially some men have a negative reaction, right, to Jaden Smith and how he represents himself through his fashion, or through, again, I remember like just a month ago, my whole social timeline was about the romper controversy, and can black men, can real black men actually wear these rompers, and what's going on, and would you date a man that wears a romper, and all of this conversation is that it kind of puts our stereotypes and expectations around masculinity and sexuality out on display without us really having to kind of acknowledge it.
I am so happy that we have a longer show today, and we have about 20 more minutes left because we're doing a full hour today for those who are listening in. I'm really happy we do, because I need to sidebar with you for a minute, and we can act like we're just talking on the phone on a Saturday with wine in our hands.
Yes.
What the hell is a romper? I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Do I need to get one? Am I missing an opportunity to redefine my blackness right now? What is really going on? I've never heard of this. When you're saying romper, I was like, I thought it was a room, as in a romper room. What is this word? Yeah, I don't, because I don't speak on things unless I know what I'm speaking about. I ain't gonna say like, yep, that's right. Yep, them rompers, I got me one. No, I don't. Okay. What is this?
You know what? All right, thank you. Because there's probably some listeners that don't know what I'm talking about. Okay,
you acting like you got people Googling and trying to listen to you. Just tell us what it is.
Okay. So I'm sorry I make assumptions, and I apologize to everyone listening, including you, Thomas. So, okay, let's go into a fashion little sidestep for a second. So I know you've seen women walking around and they have an outfit on that is like a shirt and shorts connected. It's just one piece, like a short jumpsuit sort of thing.
I was trying to say, you talking about some overalls?
No,
or like
not
a jumpsuit, a unitard, like a dance unitard?
No, because they're not form fitting. So
you're talking about
imagine if a shirt and a short had a baby. If a shirt was made out of the same print and material, and the shorts were made out of the same print and material, and somebody sewed them together as one piece, that's called a romper. I know you see women walking around.
Well, of course I got some, because I sleep in something like that. So, I mean, I call it sleeping outfit. Like, I don't know what you're saying to me right now. No. It got the little feet. Mine got the little rabbit feet to it, and the little rabbit ears when I get cold.
No feet. Okay, short. There's short.
So a sewn together short set, like an old polo short set that I used to rock back in the 80s when I thought I was extra fly.
But no, okay, but no. Walk with me, okay? We're gonna slow it down, okay? Imagine a tank top. Okay, we're talking about women's fashion. We're gonna start with the women's fashion so that we can make the transition to the actual controversy. So imagine a woman's tank top. Okay, so something made out of cotton or a cotton rayon blend of some sort. And imagine if she had shorts that were the same print and the same textile, the same fabric, but they were sewn together. So if there's a waistline attached to them, but she would put them all on as one piece. That one piece is called a romper. Can you envision what I'm talking about?
I really can. Oh, I really can now. I'm just taking it for myself. I'm asking myself, how would I rock that? I got some sexy calves, so maybe I need one to show off these calves for the summer, and I don't have to worry about what I'm going to wear because, it's one piece. So there it is. And you don't have to make any choices. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So there was a point in time where even rompers for women were a new fashion trend because they were more often than not acceptable for children to wear. So they were like girls' clothes for like decades, right? So when I was a kid, I had a couple rompers. And so maybe that is where the term romper room, I don't know. I don't know all of the history of that. I will Google that later.
Well, I was going to say, we must Google that for the next show.
And so I'm probably somewhere between 5 to 7 years ago, they started making them in adult women's wear. So they're summer apparel for women. They're cute. It's like wearing a dress, but not. So instead of it being a little summer dress, sundress, it's shorts at the bottom. So women have been wearing these for years now. What happened was this year, they started making them for men. Now they're masculinized versions, but the idea is the same. So think about it in terms of like, almost like coveralls, but if they were shorts and fashionable.
So as you were talking, I actually went and just went out on did a Google image search for rompers.